HelenaWoods.com, and I am teaching you the 5 myths and misconceptions that you might be making when you're thinking about astrocartography, or the astrology of location. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the 5 things that I commonly hear, and I'm just going to make this a whole lot easier for you, but also make it fun. If you don't know me, I have been making astrocartography fun since 2021 when I started my astrocartography and astrology business online. I teach courses, I've written a book, I do client readings, and I have a podcast, YouTube channel, all the things, and I'm on a mission to bring the power and information of place to you, wherever you are, and also show you the beautiful sights and cities and places that I travel to full-time as a world traveling astrologer. Originally from sunny San Diego, California, I now call Paris my home, and I've been living in France since 2018 with my husband, Alex. Are they getting you? Is it too zoomed in? If you don't know Alex, he helps me man the email inbox. So if you ever email us at the office at Helena@HelenaWoods.com, you might be getting an email from Alex. All right, let's get into today's video. 5 myths and misconceptions. Let's get into it. As a consulting relocation astrology specialist, I have worked with over 2,500 clients, and so many of them ask me the same questions. One of the first questions, how can I avoid this in my life? AKA, where in the world can I go where my marriage can be better? Where in the world can I go so I can avoid this tricky legal situation that I am in with my family? Where can I go to make more money, right? Yes, there are places that can be more advantageous for you financially, that show how your relationship to money is changing when you go to different parts of the world, that show how things are improving and you can get through things with more ease. However, this does not negate your timing with your transits. I remember I once had a client. She came back to me a year later and was complaining to me that she shouldn't have moved to her location because she's having financial troubles. And now she just rented a flat and she can't afford the rent and all this stuff. And what she failed to see was that she's going through Saturn in her second house of money. And she has her Mars there. Saturn is transiting over her Mars in the second house of finances. She thought that this woman had the audacity to think that you can just move locations and suddenly you're going to avoid your transits. You're going to avoid your natal chart and the issues that will come up at everyone's point in life. That gets me to another point. No one's life is perfect. No place is perfect. Everyone's going to go through challenging times at different phases of our lives. I will go through challenges. My husband will go through challenges. You will go through challenges. Life is not perfect. Place is not perfect. No place in the world is perfect. And yet people have the audacity to think that if you just suddenly move somewhere, you can avoid the Saturn in the second house transit. And it's just bewildering and baffling to me. Now, as an advanced astrologer, as someone who's been doing astrology, learning this since 2011 and got really serious into it in 2018, I understand that this seems a little complicated and a little like, well, obviously, wouldn't you think relocation can change absolutely everything in your life? But no, it can't. You will still go through transits. You will still go through hard times. However, you can mitigate things. You can help things. You can be in places that better support you when you go through those hard transits. However, just because you move, it doesn't mean you're going to get rid of Saturn in the second conjunct your Mars transit. Like, you're not going to avoid it. And that brings me to tip number 2. Let's keep going. The second biggest misconception and myth when it comes to astrocartography and the power of place is thinking that you can avoid world events, climate change, natural disasters, political events. Your astrocartography map is not just going to tell you, oh, you might have a fire in your house and it might burn down in this location. You know, if there's a huge tsunami, your astrocartography map, those astrocartography lines you see on the map, they're not going to tell you, oh, there's going to be a tsunami here, so you should be careful, right? That's not what your astrocartography map shows. Your astrocartography map shows how you yourself are exploring different aspects of consciousness and how your life story, your natal promise, is being unlocked into different areas of your life or being explored depending on where you want to go. Is it more career focus? Is it more identity and coming back to your self-worth? Is it more focus on relationships and meeting people, finding your partner? Or is it more about home and family family, buying property, and cementing roots in place. Your astrocartography map is not going to tell you that there's going to be a riot down your street. Hey, there might be some political protests that get kind of crazy in the year 2027 in your neighborhood. Your astrocartography map is not going to tell you that. What you can do, solution, you can look into geodetic astrology, mundane astrology, which is about world predictions, an astrology from a collective world predictive lens. It's called mundane astrology. And I've got a podcast episode coming to you very soon all about geodetic astrology. This is one of the biggest questions I get working with clients. People always ask me, what about climate change? Will my house be destroyed? I can't really see that. I mean, unless you're living on like a Uranus IC line. But honestly, most of the time when I see Uranus IC lines on a map, it's usually people just feeling unsettled and not loving where they live, feeling a sense of instability with their living situation. Doesn't necessarily mean your house is going to burn down or something. So stay tuned to the podcast. That'll be coming out soon. But let's get to misconception number 3. Misconception number 3. I have this written down on a piece of journal paper here. All right, thinking that certain lines are good or bad. This is the biggest thing I hear in all of my client consultations. People will say, I want to go to a Mars line, but I know it's bad. Or I really want to go to that Pluto line, but I know it's not a good line. Here's the thing. Yes, there are more challenging lines. Yes, Saturn, Mars, Pluto tend to be the most challenging, I would say. However, you've got to remember this. Those planets that you see on your astrocartography map, it depends on your placement. So it really depends on your placement. And also, what else do you have in that area? Walk with me. I'll give you an example. I live on my Saturn line, right? I've been living on my Saturn ascendant line for, 4 years now at this point. And I have to say, I love my Saturn line. I love Saturn. And people can see the Saturn ascendant and say, ooh, you're going to have bad health. Joints, teeth problems. I've had nothing but good health. Now, if I've got health transits coming up, I might want to be a little bit more cautious of my Saturn ascendant line. Would I want to live here when I'm going through health problems? Probably not. If I go through some sort of health illness issue, do I want to live here? No. But I don't have any health problems. I haven't had any in the last years. I love it here. Check out this. Is this a gecko on a door? This is so cool. Awesome. I'll give you another example. I have 2 really good friends of mine. One of them lives on a Pluto IC line, she just moved there, and another lives on a Pluto ascendant line. They both love their Pluto lines. Some of the most successful people that I've ever met and worked with, people in Hollywood, famous directors, famous Oscar winners. I've worked with 2 Oscar winners, an actress and a director, and both of them live on Pluto lines or close to them. They've had the most success on Pluto lines. Pluto lines are very powerful, very successful places for people. A lot of very influential, powerful people in their industries, very successful. We've got to stop being afraid of Pluto lines. And to those of you who say, it's a scam, I've gotten comments here on YouTube where people are like, oh, you're a scam artist because you're saying Pluto lines aren't bad and traumatic. Don't get me wrong. Some people have very difficult times on Pluto lines. Look at the chart. Look at the natal promise of the chart. Okay, we've got to go back to the root of being able to read birth charts. Can we just for a quick second, just 1 second, interruption, not a sponsor, but just the view. Look at this. Look how stunning this architecture is. It's out of this world. It's otherworldly. It's so intricate and beautiful. Look at that ornate, what are those called? The ornate balconies. Like Paris, no place in the world like it. And there's the Eiffel Tower right there. Holy crap.
people who say that certain lines are good or bad, you're doing it wrong. If you don't know how to read a chart or a relocation chart, you're not going to be able to understand the power and stories of place. You're not going to be able to read this. This is why you have to be able to read charts. How do you read a birth chart? How do you read the planetary condition of that planetary line, right? Your Pluto line versus another person's Pluto line is going to be a different story. Your Mars is going to be different from my Mars. This is why reading charts and reading relocation charts is an essential prerequisite when it comes to learning astrocartography and the stories of place. And this is why I teach courses. This is why my flagship signature course with dozens of hours of examples, tutorials, teaching you how to do this, how to read charts, how to read maps, how to read birth charts. If you're a beginner, this is great for you. My flagship signature course, Relocation Astrology, it's epic. Hundreds of students are enrolled, and what you're getting here on YouTube is less than a tenth of all the information, knowledge, education, and examples that you'll get in my Relocation Astrology course. So if you ever wanted to do a deep dive study, if you ever wanted to start reading charts, if you ever wanted to start reading maps, check out the link in the description down below for the Relocation Astrology course. We're going to be having 2 live classes on April 18th and 19th, 8 p.m. France time. So save the date, mark your calendar, Friday and Saturday night this month, live classes. By the way, check out this area right here. Look at this. We got the La Alma restaurant. This is one of my favorite restaurants. I go here all the time for brunch. They have the best scrambled eggs. Like if you ever are looking for some good buttery scrambled eggs and the best brioche in the city, best spot for that. Seriously, one of my favorites. I don't like it for lunch. Come for breakfast or brunch. The food's a little bit better. Amazing, and the bathroom's really cute too. This is Avenue Montaigne, my favorite street in Paris. Let's go explore. All right, and let's bring it home. Let's bring it to a very important key point that you need to know when it comes to astrocartography. You have to like the place. Sometimes I meet people who, doesn't matter where I tell them, they're just like, I'll go wherever the astrocartography is good at. I don't care where it is. I don't care if it's in Kentucky. I don't care if it's in the plains of Iowa. I don't care if it's in busy, metropolitan, dirty New York City. I lived in New York City for 5 years. When I was 18 to 22 years old, I left and loved New York City. But gosh, it's not like it was back in 2012, 2013. That was like peak prime New York City. Essentially what I'm trying to say is sometimes people will just move to wherever. You've got to like the place. You've got to like the place. And this bears repeating a million times because, you know, I've been places where my astrocartography was incredible. I've been to places where the parents were my best parents, and I felt so good there, and I was so abundant, and things were just flowing to me. I was having all this ease and good things coming to me, and I was feeling fantastic. But I didn't like the city, right? And that's why you've got to like the place too on a logistical, practical level. You can't just find a spot on the map and say, well, the astrocartography is good, the relocation chart is good, let's move there. You've got to like the place, and that's why I always say you've got to visit first. You have to visit these places before you move. What if you don't like it? What if there's not enough community? What if the community is just not what you're seeking? What if you don't like that there's enough plants in that area? Or what if you don't like that there's not enough yoga and Pilates and outdoor sports and activities, right? You have to think about the logistics too. It's not just the astrology, it's both. And it's very important that people know this, because there are people that will just move to places in the world knowing that the astrocartography is good, knowing that the relocation chart is great, and still they move there not getting clear on themselves. What do you want? What is your inner voice asking you to do? What is your inner voice? What is your intuition asking you to look at? What do you want? Knowing what you want is key. Having clarity on your intentions and your desires is key. We cannot start with a move unless you know what you want. And this is why I often tell my clients, I had a client yesterday, clear on like, what's your non-negotiable? What's the number one most important thing right now? What do you want right now? What do you want to call in? This will help us get clear on what do we want to prioritize in terms of your next best place, right? You have many good places in the world. Don't let anyone tell you that you don't. You have many places in the world that would support you. You have many places, options. But what do you want? This clarity is key, and it's essential. And that's why I always say, go back to yourself, go back to your inner voice. What do you feel called to do? I will give you the places. I will tell you the exact latitude, the exact area of where to look at, but then you have to make the final decision. And I tell this to my students in my certification and my relocation astrology courses. I tell all of my clients this: you have the power. The power is within you. You make the call. I am not a psychic. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not a guru. I am simply here living my life, teaching and saying what needs to be said, and you take what works for you and leave out the rest. But you are in full power. You are the hero of your life. You are your own influence. Be your own influence. Be your own hero. Be your own guide. That's the age that we're living in. Neptune in Aries, North Node in Pisces, and Pluto in Aquarius. This is the age we're in. Take your power back. Just wanted to show you this beautiful day in Paris. I hope you enjoyed this little tour and also enjoyed the 5 misconceptions that so many people seem to not understand when it comes to astrocartography. I hope this clarified some things a little bit for you. And if you want to follow me over on Instagram for daily updates, I post every day inspiration, content every day on Instagram. Follow me over at Ms. Helena Woods, and I'm excited to see you there. Let me know in the DMs or in the comments down below what kind of content you would like to see next. What kind of information, videos, education, knowledge, inspiration would you like to see? I'm thinking about filming a day in my life as a full-time astrologer vlog, just showing you what a day in my life is like when I'm working. Today is my day off right now. I'm not working today. So of course on my days off I always film vlogs, going into Paris, get cute, get dressed up in a cute outfit, enjoy, create, have fun, because this is playtime for me. But when I'm working, I'm often at home, got a lot of things that I do on a daily basis. If you guys would like to see that, what a day in my life looks like, a realistic day in my life looks like, let me know down below. Comment below and let me know if you'd like to see that. Comment the crown emoji if you want to see that. I love YouTube, but to be honest, not a lot of people are watching my YouTube videos these days, and it's got me discouraged. So if you want me to keep making videos, please let me know in the comments and I will keep making them. I enjoy making them, but I also believe that the people have to want it too. It has to be mutual. So if you want to see more videos like this, comment the crown emoji down below and that will let me know if you want to keep seeing more content like this on YouTube. Of course, I'm going to post on Instagram, my courses, my podcast, but if you want to specifically see visual YouTube content, let me know down below. It would mean the world to me to hear from you. All right, I will talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And remember, we have live classes on April 18th and 19th. I'll see you there the day before I leave for Australia. Let's go. Have a magical day and happy astro travels. Bye.